Today we're going to look at a technique that again comes from the Indian classical tradition, and I think it's a very useful tool to create interesting embellishments especially when you have, for instance, an introduction in a piece, a rubato, a section where you just play solo. So it's a way of sometimes approaching melody and creating a little bit color and expression through the notes. So I found it very useful and a really interesting way of create color in the melody. So let's have a look. So there are two techniques that they come from, I took a lot from the sarod instruments and Indian classical instruments that's played with your nails, and it's a lot playing through glides. The technique is about connecting notes. So how do you connect notes? Through exactly glides, creating color between them. So let's take the scale of E major. For this exercise, you will look at the scale more on one string to start with. So let's say that we're taking the open E. The first thing is that you glides, first exercise, between each note of the scale. So when this is brought to a certain speed, you can really hear the effect. So you can really hear how every note is connected through a glide. So I'm already moving, thinking about the next note coming. So this is the first interesting technique. This you can take, for instance, in the key of E, and you can practice it on any open string. So starting from the B, which will be the fifth. And so on. You can do it on all the strings of the guitar. Let's get a little bit more interesting. So we can glide again, but this time we create a little bit of a more complicated movement. So if we are again on the key of E, starting from these notes. Now the glides jump one note and goes back to the previous one. So if I'm in E, I will go straight to the G sharp and jump back to the F sharp. So in reality, the movement I'm creating is, but the glide is in between the two notes, create this interesting color and movement. So it's quite fast. So if you do it in speed, you're playing. So if I put this onto a scale again, will be, for instance. So on the way back, the movement is slightly more complicated. So for instance, we are here. So we're going higher and then back to the note below. So from the E we go to the F sharp, but then back to the D sharp. And the same to the next note. Quindi. So these are two very useful techniques, and this is how you can use them, for instance, in an intro. So this is helps you to create a little bit more interesting movement to your playing, and it can actually help you to sound a bit like a sitar. So enjoy your practice.